So it's true, my deck is a mess, but I'm gonna fix that. So what we've got going on here is I got all these azaleas and lots of weeds too, growing right up against the end of my porch. There's a nice wraparound porch, but as you can see here, I mean, we got a ton of rot going on all around this place, and the deck is just literally just crumbling in my hands. And so we're gonna fix that today. And I'm gonna show you guys what to look for, how to prevent this in the future, but also what to do, how to replace it, and how to work through this whole process to keep your porches safe, because on an old house, right, the porch is kind of one of the best places to be, and we wanna keep it that way. So check it out and come with me. So the first thing I need to do to prevent this rot from coming back is get rid of this massive natural rot creating thing here called my azalea bushes. Now, I don't mind having azaleas, but you need to trim these back so they're not right on top of your property, and they'll come back pretty quickly. It doesn't matter what the shrub is or anything. You need to give it at least 2 feet off of your wood structures. And I'm in a lot of places only a few inches. So it's gonna hold the water there and it's gonna cause it to rot. So let's get to work getting rid of that. The way we're gonna stop this from coming back on our new wood is to use boric hair. So I'm buying the same inexpensive pine boards here, nice tongue and groove, right? And we're gonna put this down and we're gonna place them. But before I put these down and replace it, I'm treating it with that boric hair. Boom, right there. And that is going to stop all of this good stuff. Subterranean termites, drywood termites, carpenter ants, wood destroying beetles, fungi, that's rot, and algae. All the stuff I do not want on my boards, and all the stuff I have on my boards. Right there. So the boric hair is non-toxic, really. I mean, I'm not gonna drink it, but I can handle it. I would recommend, if you want to wear some nitrile gloves or latex gloves, that's fine. It does get a little sticky if you're handling it a bunch. But basically, I'm just gonna spray it on the wood. I'm gonna let it dry. Once it's dry to the touch, I can handle it, I can install it, do whatever I want with it. Cut it, just can't prime and paint it for 48 hours. So that means tomorrow and the next day. And then we're good to go. So keep that in mind when you work with this stuff. Really great to use. I'm just spraying it over this floor. If I was spraying it over a nice floor, I would put some floor protection down. But since I'm tearing all this flooring out, it makes it easy. I don't have any information for you on how healthy it is for your grass. I would probably recommend covering the grass. So a drop cloth, always helpful, unless you're working in a situation like I am where you're just tearing it all out, or a concrete floor that you don't care about, like in my shop. So there's your tips for boric hair. Now let's get into replacing some of these floorboards. So on day one, that's about as far as I was able to get. All they had at the lumberyard was 11 pieces, and I need 172. But we're here back today a few days later. I've got all the rest of the lumber, so it's time to go unload it and see what we can put together today. That's a lot of flooring. Let's get to work. I was moving good until I ran into all this rot.
"346 minutes later."
I'm not gonna let a little rot stop me, so I broke out the Abatron structural wood epoxy and got to town repairing this. I recently opened a new franchise in Orlando called Preservin that specializes in just this kind of seamless rot repairs. Check out the description to learn more about the franchise, or click the link above to watch a detailed video about working with this kind of epoxy. "30 minutes later, we were ready to start rolling with that decking again. All right, it's day 3. I've got some done, but I've still got a lot more to go. But we're gonna make some good progress on it because it's 8 a.m. and I'm ready to get going today. So I got the whole day to work. Let's see how much of this deck we can get done. So I finally got from the new part of the porch addition, to the original part, the original 1918. So the newer part was put on in like 2000 and the original 1918. And you can see, here's the crossover boards. You can see the difference. Here's your old growth pine. Here's the new pine. Same tongue and groove boards, but totally different in its nature and hardness. So that's that awesome old growth stuff. I love it. Day 4, 5, I'm not sure where we are at this point. I'm still working on this deck, on this porch. So you can see we've got a lot of it done, but I wanted to show you in this old part of the deck here, we're right up against the house. You can see these old pine timbers, they're extremely strong. And I can see underneath the house, I've got the old piers down here. You can see where you transition from an old pier to a newer pier, and this beam is just a massive piece of pine. So it's kind of fun seeing below the house. I always love when you do projects like this, you get to see some of the history of the house and see what's been going on. I don't know the last time this was opened up. Since I'm pulling off some decking from 1918, it's probably been over 100 years since anybody's been down here. So very cool to see. So I encourage you, go be that old house detective. All right, we're on the last legs of this here. I'm starting on the angles. You may be wondering, how do you figure out the angle? What do you have to do? What's the trick with the angles? One, it's not too hard. Usually, if your porch is done right, it's a 45-degree angle. But in some cases, it's 47 or could be 43 or 44 or whatever. And so I would encourage you just when you take these boards out here, just set them on your miter saw and check the angle, match whatever it is, because not every old house is square. Just match that angle, and then you can just come back and do that cut over and over again each time. And I'm gonna run them all long. So I'm gonna run them all the way out to the end. I'll trim it all off later, so I don't have to worry about that. I just have to cut the angle on one side and then be ready to trim it all off at the end. So here we go. It took me about a week, but I finally got it all done. After a coat of primer and a couple coats of paint, it came out great, and I was thrilled to have a porch floor that I wouldn't worry about falling through anymore. Don't think that this kind of project is beyond your abilities if you're a DIYer. Wait, don't leave yet. Click that subscribe button. Check out some more of these other old house videos. What are you waiting for?